Oh, Sita. Oh, hey, 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 hey. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear what's going in the microphone? Microphone check. Oh, yeah. Can anybody hear what's going in the microphone? Is the microphone check? Can anybody hear? Oh, okay, you can hear? Whew, Lord in heaven. That was somewhat miserable. Bathing in the nuclear fire of white light that is this room. Over there is the chat thing. YouTube has completely... Yes. When things work great and then they come out with an update and then they give you a button that says do it the old way, you know it was a bad update. Greetings, programs. My name's Ingrid Burnett. Old Ingrid Burnall here. Welcome back to Runehammer. It looks like things, if I keep looking over to the left in a very strange way, it's because that's where my gear is. It seems like our stream is healthy now. The weak link this whole time has been OBS, has been crashing on me. So that is no longer a service that I'm going to use. We're going to go back to XSplit. Remember those days? Those of you who've been watching Runehammer for ages, remember when I used to use XSplit? It's very reliable. We're going to go back to that because YouTube is actually working quite fine. They have a new interface. Why am I telling you this stuff? This doesn't matter. This is Runehammer, man. We play D&D like big old badasses. That's what we do. And we also do other RPGs with mixed degrees of badassery. But sometimes you got to go outside what you're awesome at. Try some new shit, and that's what tonight is all about. It's Monday night. Settle in. I'm going to be hanging out for a while, assuming we can just get this tech to work. This tech looks like it works a lot better than that garbage. OBS was just... it would like, yeah. Okay. So as long as you guys can hear and yeah, and everything's going to be fine. Okay. So for next time, I'm going to start using YouTube, which seems like the way they want me to use it now. And should I even be using YouTube? I don't know. I should probably be twitching. After that experience, I am twitching. I hope you're not. Let's just cool off all those computer vibes because we're not here to use computers. Huh? What's this? It's Monday. This is a dusty chestnut, you guys. For those of you who are back in the old Runehammer days, you remember I used to rock the King's Pyment. This is my favorite mead from Hidden Legend. This stuff is so damn good. And I know that Hidden Legend isn't the most, bespoke, artisanal, locally sourced, small-time mead meadery out there. They're somewhat, large scale. But damn it if they don't just make good stuff. So, hey, grab yourself a drink and settle in. I'm going to be here for a couple hours. Oh, man, that is tangy. We're going to be hanging out. I'll probably be hanging out for far more than a couple hours, but we'll see how long you can endure looking at all this horror right here. I can't quite see far enough to the computer to read your comments, so maybe I need to adjust myself because I lost my glasses. You see, I'm really on a roll as a human being right now. Okay, this might help. I'm going to do some of this stuff here. There we go. I'm going to use like the old man gigantic font. Now I can kind of see. I'm back. I'm over here now. Hi. Hey, I'm Hank Infernal. Okay, guys, enough freaking nonsense. Actually, if you're watching Runehammer, you're probably here for some of the nonsense. Here's the nonsense. Let me tell you about a little something. Let me tell you a little story about a man named Jed that started playing wargaming and no longer kept his family fed. He spent his money on minis and then he rolled a 2. And even though we had a bunch of units, the charge didn't break through. Sigmar, that is. Warhammer. Army games. Gateway drug. Anyway, hi guys. Okay, so I'm just arranging my work table here, and I'm going to pan down pretty soon, so you're not just looking at my ugly mug this whole time. I'm working on all kinds of things. Still got like 2, sometimes 3 games that are going down a week. 2 really regular ones though, and our D&D one is on session 19. I think there's about 5 sessions left. I'm gonna wrap that sucker up, and our group has been starting to pick at each other what we're gonna do next. Somebody was crazy enough to mention Sigmar. Kirby, you know who you are, and my wallet will never forgive you. Anyways, a lot of people have been into this game for years now, and I just kind of been like, huh? I didn't really know. Seemed like it was cool. People playing Warhammer always seem like they're having a good time, but never got into it. And then just because my homie turned me on to it, I watched like a bazillion hours of like Miniac, which you should definitely check out Miniac's channel. Goobertown Hobbies, totally amazing channel, and started tumbling down this sort of wargaming rabbit hole. So we agreed we're going to take a look at some armies and going to start building some armies and stuff like that. And being Hanker Infernal, being Ingrid, the weirdo of Runehammer, right away I just had to completely go DIY. So I'm doing a completely custom army, which is loosely based on Fire Slayers, which are like badass dwarves because, yeah. But I am completely kit bashing and hacking the whole thing, and then I'm going to do my own lore and do my own stat blocks, which my co-players will have to approve. They'll be based on stats in the book mostly, just a little bit of tweaks. For those of you who have played Age of Sigmar, it's an ultra simple numeric system. Very easy to invent your own armies as long as people you're playing with feel that it's fairly designed for a good game, and you're off and running, right? So what I wanted to do was have you guys hang out tonight with me, because hey, I got the night to myself. I'm up in my lab. I got my secondary work table up here. I'm going to get a nice cutting surface on top of here. Basically, I left my whole crafting world back on the West Coast, moved out to Philly, and now I'm slowly going to pack another room filled with crafting stuff, because that's how we live the life, yo. So first of all, thank you to everybody for continuing to watch while Runehammer is God knows whatever it is. It sort of switches every week. But that's, to me, is the way to be creatively honest, right? You just follow your nose. But I got to tell you, this stuff is fun. And we can muse on why it's so damn fun while we're working. But yeah, so I got myself the starter box for the Fire Slayers. I looked at this display and you know, they have a lot of this stuff in here. And right away, I was just like, no. Then I got the battle tome for the Fire Slayers. I thought, hey man, I need to understand how these stat blocks work. And this isn't so much core stat blocks as much as like special unit abilities. So even though dwarves with red beards are cool and everything, and there's a lot of promise here, I'm kind of like, no. So I started learning more about the core rules of Sigmar, which I got the free PDF because by now my wallet's starting to get bruised. That core rules PDF that you can get for free is really freaking good. I got to hand it to these guys. And those of you who've been playing Sigmar for years know this system. Thinking to myself, hell, I'm going to do this. Now, if you guys can see in the back there, there's some Gundams up top. So most of my plastic modeling skill, that's a funny word around here. Experience has been with Gundams. And so building Gundam models is extremely specific and precise. You really need to read the directions, or you're stuck with a bunch of L-shaped Legos that make no sense. When it comes to Sigmar, to wargaming, army building in general, one of the first things that you can discover, that I discovered, is that it is nothing like building a Gundam. Now, of course, you have sprues. Sprues are fun. You have a lot of little tidbits. You have heads and you have beards and things like this. But since you're not using a snap fit model, you're using glue, this material is terribly forgiving to improvise and to just make things up. So naturally, it's like 1 in the morning, and I had already wasn't even sure where I put the model from the starter box, or the instruction manual from the starter box. So I'm just like, I don't know, these look like legs. This looks like a torso. I could probably stick a head on here. And once you break that barrier, and I encourage everybody to do this, and you know, Miniac also has some great videos on doing this. Just thinking about what you want your army to be and just manifesting it, just will it into existence. And so that's what I started doing with the guys that I'm starting to call the Shields of Grimnir. So I'm somewhat in the Sigmar lore, but I'm going to invent my own sub-faction of the Fire Slayers. I'm going to invent my little unit and how they fit into the story, and I want to build them my way in my context. And to me, this is the fun of the RPG hobby. It is not doing what you're told. So Gundams, you need to put them together the way that you're instructed to, or you're just not going to get a completed giant robot. But with this stuff, the sky's the limit. It's fantastic. So first I wanted to introduce you to how far I've gotten so far. I'm going to show you the minis that I've done. I have about 8 here. And then we're going to build some more so you can see exactly just how, you know, it's really quite straightforward. It's just a matter of patience and keeping your vision of what your army is going to be in mind and not being afraid to ruin things, because you're going to ruin things doing this. And then also this is going to be like a progress video. So we're going to come back. It looks like this connection is working great. So OBS was the problem all along. I'm sorry, YouTube. I got a little mad at you there for a second. But then we'll go right from this beginning video, and I'm going to try to take you guys all the way through the process. So that means all the building of the army. I'm going to try to build about maybe a 25 to 30 unit army. So like 6 squadrons of 5. And then I'm going to do all the paint work, and then I'm going to do the final step, which I'm excited about, which is doing the lore and the design work for the mechanics, so that I could play in a somewhat legal Warhammer way. I'll probably underpower my guys because I always do that kind of stuff. Okay, so first things first, how far I've come so far. So I had nothing. Remember, I just moved coast to coast, so I had nothing. I had no paintbrushes. I had no clippers. I had nothing. So all I got was stuff I found around the house. I got my X-Acto, my tweezers, because I have big Hellboy hands. I got my super glue. I got an emery board, and I got a little. These are my big clippers, and then these are my little babies. That's it. That's my entire tool set. And I got this bottle of mead right here. Oh, it tastes like old times, you guys. Okay, so that's all. So then I started building the models, and I knew right away that I wanted to build a dwarven army that was almost completely focused on shields. So I started picking apart my sprues and looking for shields. And the shields, as you may know from building this kind of stuff, or you may not, like I did, I didn't know anything coming into this. They kind of have these stubby little hands that they hook onto. And I needed to start harvesting those hands. And then I also needed to make like right and left hands. And so I had to do a little bit of micro carving and this, that, and the other thing. But then you come to our first shield of Grimnir. So I'm gonna try to get the camera down in here, and we're gonna see what kind of success we have. Hey, hi. This is RPG. Okay. This is Hobby World 2000. All right. How do I do this? Will this be able to even focus on this? So there we go. Yeah, you can get a focus. Look at that. That's amazing. Okay, so let me use this box. As you guys can tell, I put a lot of planning into this. No, I'm the worst person on YouTube, I swear to God. Okay, there's a nice, look at the focus you're going to get. Are you going to get it? Not quite, because you're focusing on my stupid t-shirt. Come on, focus. I'm used to like an iPhone where you can just tap the damn thing. God dang, if that could focus, that closeness would be amazing. There we go. Oh, look at that. Tight. Okay, so I'm just going to try to lean my camera here. This is very precariously set up with several miniatures in harm's way. Oh. Here, moving to inside the workbox. Hold. Just. Oh, look, now that's close. That's a close-up for the ages. Look at that focal length. Dear Lord, it's glorious. Okay, so now what I've done, this is my first one, and I loved this pose, and right away, instead of giving him battle axes, I gave him twin shields, because that's badass. And it's just, this is the kind of dwarf army that I was visualizing, these dual shield wielding, and they use their shields as weapons, you know? So the basing that I've been doing is this stuff. This is a ripped apart piece of Dungeons and Lasers terrain. So let me grab you a piece here. Let me just grab this off there. Okay. So Dungeons and Lasers is out of Poland. They're awesome. Their miniatures are absolutely stunning. But they sent me a whole kit of this dungeon terrain. And so what I do is I just tear it apart to make this kind of stuff. And so this has been what I'm creating all my bases with, is this sort of destroyed plastic terrain. So as you can see, see the bottom has all the little connectivity where you're going to normally build your terrain, but instead I just tore it apart with pliers to make this sort of ruined stone base material. Now remember, you're not seeing any paint yet, so you're gonna have to use a little bit of imagination as you consider the shields of Grimnir. And yes, that is exactly it, Admiral Snackbar. Shield wall is my concept. I have a bunch of bits that I found online, so I found some much bigger plastic shields so I can do dwarves with tower shields for my front line. Anyways, this is where sort of my concept started coming together, was this twin shield dwarf, okay? So there's that one. Now, not all the poses are quite as conducive, so I had to do some, cut off some guys' arms and reattach their arms in ways that I like. So here's another twin shield warrior. Okay, I'm just not going to belabor you with all of these before I start showing you the group. Then here, so normally the Fire Slayers are supposed to have Mohawks on all the models, but I'm only putting the Mohawks on my squad leaders. So here we have another twin shield warrior, but with the Mohawk. But aren't these guys badass? Because they don't even have weapons, okay? So they have shields. So lots more of those yet to make as time goes on. Okay. There we go. I've never done anything close up like this on YouTube, so I'll get my tech figured out someday. Okay. So then I knew that I wanted to make a bunch more shield dwarves, and we're going to be doing that tonight. But I also knew that I had two other categories. I wanted to make berserkers, and I wanted to make these sort of supremes. So the berserkers are really easy. They're a little bit less custom. They are just twin battle axe dwarves. Again, no Mohawk unless it's the squad leader. Okay, so there's that guy. And Games Workshop loves to have guys waving their arms around and stuff. So I've done some slightly different pivoting on the axe angles to get my berserkers. And now finally, these are the real creme de la creme. These are my dragon shields. So there's not going to be many of these. These are sort of my supremes. And check these guys out. These are truly custom miniatures. I even made the weapon on these. So the weapon is put together with extreme care and very tiny amounts of super glue to make these huge spears. And then if you look really closely, my shield is a dragon head. So because dwarves are badass. Yeah, check out there. You got a good shot of the shield. Look at that. Boom. Okay, there's some simultaneous streams. So let me work on that. Sorry about that. Let me see what's going on with how I stop those. I don't know how to stop those without if there are other streams, can you just tell people to come over to this one? I do not know how to do computer things. This is why I have, so not, it would be cool to have more subscribers, I guess, but I'm just so bad at YouTube that it's I don't know. I watch stuff by Miniac and those guys, and it's just so damn brilliant. Okay, so here's another one of my Supremes. So this one, this weapon was part of the kit, so I didn't have to make the weapon. But I did use a piece of the dragon to make his cape. So he's got a dragon scale cloak. So all these guys have Mohawks because they're all squad leaders. They're my Supremes. So there's that Supreme. And then here's another one. And this one is also super, super custom. So this one, he has this sort of triple spear. And then he also has the dragon head shield. But these guys, okay, so now you get a sense there. So let's pull back just a little bit. All right. And then most importantly, when building armies, at least from what I've been told by people who know what they're doing, is thinking about how they're looking when they're assembled. So I just use a box top to hold all my little bits so I don't lose everything. And then when you start putting them together, boy, this is when they start being cool. Because you want to build this like contrast, right? So you have to look past like the sort of the white from the torn plastic that I'm using for my basing because it can be distracting. But once I black coat everything, that'll be gone, obviously. But the shape variety on these guys, I love it. It's super, super cool. So it's a little bit harder to see through a camera. Yeah, and hey, you know, for those of you who found the crummy streams that seem to be just going because my OBS crashed like midstream, if you could just throw a comment in there that this is the one we're doing tonight, I would appreciate that. YouTube has made a new option where you can just use a camera directly and you need OBS, so I'm never going to run that damn program again. This is far easier to do anyways. Yeah, so I'm trying to make them as individual as possible. I'm also trying to give them like, you know, some cohesion between their types, and that's what we're doing. So the Supremes can kind of go to the side for now, and my Berserkers can go to the side, and we are going to build more Shield Dwarves. So here's our little workspace, and I just wanted to sort of show you guys how I work, and we're also just going to hang out. Let's get these guys over there. These guys are so cool. And, you know, I don't know if how many of you guys out there are already, and ladies are already into this stuff, but I could not be any more new with this stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've done all kinds of different modeling and a bit of wargaming in the past, but I've never done this flavor of it. And I can tell you right away, I can see why so many people love doing this stuff. Sometimes in the D&D world, which is driven by story, right? We spend so much of our intellectual energy with compelling stories, sort of this sort of working toward a hobby fantasy of an epic moment, right? We do a lot about that. And how can you deliver an epic moment as a dungeon master? How can you know, take less time to reach epic moments? How you can speed up the game a little bit? And like, what's going to be the content of your next game? Like, what do I do after the Goblin Cave? What do I do after the big military scene? How do I make combat go fast enough so everybody's constantly psyched? All these questions, right? And one thing I think that I have to hand it to games like Sigmar is that you're asking a very different set of questions. On the one hand, you're kind of asking PvP questions, right? You're like, well, I know my buddy is going to make, you know, a slave to darkness army. And he also kind of knows what he's doing. So I want to kick his ass with dwarves, right? That makes perfect sense. Just assembling my pieces right now. I'm going to need to pick out some shields. But you're also just asking the question of like, kind of what would be cool? And when it comes to wargaming, it's a simpler question to answer, really. What would be cool? And it's kind of like, well, I want to get some guys that look sweet when they're aligned on the battlefield. And so right away, I know in my head what that is, which is, you know, like dwarves that form a shield wall. That's my favorite freaking thing. So just try to make that happen. I'm just taking out 2 matching shields right now. And then what's crazy is you start sort of moving into the building phase from your sort of idea phase. And you're kind of just, you're in the zone then. You don't need to, you know, write all these diagrams and like come up with new design mechanics and make sure that the paladin has an encounter that fits his archetype and make sure that you have a session that feels different than last session, but the same enough where everybody, remembers what the crystals do, and like lots of considerations. But the thing about this sort of wargaming thing that I'm discovering is that I think it's easy to underestimate how many and how complex and how fun these questions are. Like, I think some people, would assume, well, there aren't enough interesting intellectual questions in wargaming. It's all just, I slam into you and you slam into me. But I think as a creative individual, there's still a lot of room for fun things to do. So here's some hands. I need to get some of these. These things are absolutely tiny. And I'm really running short on them. So I've made a couple of little lump hands, but the lump hands aren't quite as cool. But at this size, it's really hard to see, especially inside of a shield. You don't see much when it comes to a hand. So kind of improvising, but we're just going to use 2 hands for this little dude. All right. Go there. And this should be just about everything we need for our next shield guy. So this would be our 4th shield dwarf. Now I'm going to show you guys what I mentioned earlier about this terrain. So here's a piece of Dungeons and Lasers terrain. It links together with all these little plug-in pieces and stuff like that. Here we go. You just take your clippers and you just wrench on this sucker like that. And it's the same plastic that everything in Warhammer is made out of. So it not only is easy to work with, but it matches up perfectly with that plastic. So then I have this little chunk, and then what I do is I just distress this chunk by removing parts of it. Like right there. And then sometimes too, I'll leave like a corner on so it looks like it's a piece of an old hallway or like they're in a dungeon, and then I'll kind of distress it here a little bit. When you see the plastic turning white, that means you're getting some cool results that dry brushing especially will bring out later. And there's my piece of chunky terrain. So I am also a noob, so I've just been using super glue on this round. I've got some of that nice Tamiya cement coming. But yeah, I feel like the questions that you get to ask yourself when wargaming are really fun. And they're a lot like role-playing. Like, I want to be excited about my army in a role-playing sense. I want to, announce my battle charge with fervor and fury and make it fun for my fellow players and for myself, right? And I think there's a lot of the same thinking, but probably boatloads of you that out there already know the sublime and relaxing pleasure of building these armies. So I'm just super gluing his little pieces that I've laid out here. Usually I will do the foot right after any of the armor so that I can build him right where he belongs. Because I feel like that way I have a better sense of seeing what he's going to be. Get that to bond. There we go. So there we go. So he's like in motion. So another thing that I've learned watching hours and hours, yeah, I don't do the green stuff. I can't deal with that. Watching hours and hours of Miniac and Goobertown and others, it wasn't even necessarily what they were doing, like getting my mind blown. It was having a friend in the room doing his hobby. And this may sound weird, but as a creator on YouTube, I am less of a consumer on YouTube. I'm more of a creator, and I'm not like watching loads of YouTube, But that's not the case with these 2 creators, Miniac and Goobertown. They actually struck some kind of chord in me, the way their voices sound maybe, or, the cadence while they're working. And I found it really nice to have in the room while I was working on my project. And so that's why I wanted to come online tonight. Not necessarily with some, amazing new sort of concept to reveal or, or something like that. But just to sort of be here doing my thing, and if I'm just background for whatever you're doing tonight, it's good to be here. Getting this little hand glued on here. Sometimes it's better to do the shield glued onto the hand first so that you know the angle. But on this one, I'm pretty confident that it's going to be like a vertical angle. Like right there. So he's going to be doing, this sort of fanning, Oh, you can't see me. Dakota fanning. All right. So I also like the spikes to come forward. Yeah, that's going to work on here, I think. I don't care. So in some spots, they have little, little peg holes that are telling you how to build something, and I just ignore those. If I want my spikes to point forward, my spikes point forward, damn it. There we go. So you see just how forgiving it is to just go ahead and use your glue and just assemble things. So we're getting there now. Sorry about the focus. We'll work about all this kind of technical stuff out in time, but I also tell myself that, like, when I see these really well-made videos, I just tell myself that just isn't necessarily my sort of style, My style is a little more homegrown. But rest assured, this is like what I'm doing. So this is a left hand, but I'm going to use it as a right hand. So I'm sure for a lot of crafters, this would just be total heresy. They would just be like, dude, when I look up close at your models, like, whoops, like the hands are back, or like one of the hands is backwards. I'd be like, yeah, dude. So I want to change this angle a bit. And I already glued that on, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So I can do it on this hand. Now this is something, see, I want it to go forward. So I want him to be, what, like bodybuilders, they always, flex their wrists inward and it makes them look badass. And a lot of people miss that, both in drawn art as well as figure art. So let me see. So you get that angle set up in your mind. So that's what needs to come off. So now I just use my emery board. And I'm going to change the joint angle of this hand so he's flexing more than he's like letting his hand sort of lean back on him. And this plastic is quite forgiving when it comes to sanding, so you can sand your way to freedom. There's a start. I think I want a more aggressive angle, so I can also clean off my blade and just go straight down with like almost a miter saw type cut, like there. Yeah, got it. So now I am left with a very small nubbin of hand that is going to angle the shield. Perfect. That worked great. See that? You can, well, probably not, but see that tiny dot of plastic right there? That is a little wedge-shaped hand nugget. But it's going to serve as a sort of in motorcycling, what we would call like a bracket, or like okay, come on, baby. Oh, looking good. There we go. Got it. So now you can maybe see it, but I've got his other hand on there, and it's angled, so it's like angled forward, so his shield won't look like such a sort of silly angle. Now, is army building intended to be this custom? Am I kind of a little bit out of my mind? Maybe. Do most people kit bash? Maybe. I just don't really know. I'm brand new to Warhammer, to Sigmar. This is my first excursion into any of this madness. Another thing that's a nice trick you can do is use gravity as your friend. Like that. So when you're doing a somewhat delicate glue, if you can let it fall onto where it should be, I'm terrible. There we go. There we go. There we go. Got it. So now I just let it hang out a second. Yeah, cool. Then it looks like his arm is up in there and he's flexing. And yeah, if you look really closely, you can see that's a left hand on a right arm. But it's great, especially like sort of reading from the deployment point of view, which is from the back. This is like a dwarf with two freaking shields right here. Okay, bond feels good. And that is a shield dwarf. Now we got 4 in our unit. These guys over here. And we're trucking. So I'm going to grab another one of these. And you know what? I've been having this idea to do one of these with a new arm, with both arms down, but not how the mini is made. So I was going to cut his arm off and spin his arm down and re-glue it so that he gets that. I also wanted to do one where his shield's kind of in front of him, so we'll see about that. So anyways, let's just gather up the parts first. I always use dwarfs with beard braids before I use dwarfs without beard braids, because I like beard braids. But I was basically imagining my force being a protective force. Now, is that completely misguided in the scope of Warhammer? Probably. You know, the writing in Games Workshop stuff is kind of hilarious. It's constantly reminding you how aggressive all the forces are. They yell aggressively, and when their aggressive shouts ring out, they are double aggressive. Everybody's aggressive. But my guys are defenders, for better or for worse. Maybe they're defending like a World Forge, or they're defending another army that is hopelessly outnumbered, and they're going to serve as the vanguard for an allied army to solidify an ancient alliance. Something like that. But a lot of times with a dwarf, in my mind, some of your strength comes through your alliances and who owes you one. Not just being the badass. You know, being the supreme badass on the battlefield is a more elven mindset. You guys know how I'm not a big fan of elves. All right, getting a new base piece here. This time I'm going to take off the tidy corners since I kind of left them on my last piece. Whoa, we got a shooter. Okay. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Looks like there's 115 of you knuckleheads hanging out with me. That is awesome. COVID can be a little lonely, as I'm sure a lot of you know. So it's great to virtually hang out and hobby together. You give this whole thing a year or so, and maybe we'll be hanging out at a con doing this exact same thing together. That would be really freaking cool. That would make me very happy. Dwarfing around. Great. Hey, good to have you guys in the comments, man. I'm not staring at it the whole time, but I see you. Okay. So we've got this guy. After this next shield, we're going to do the Runesmith, which we're going to do super custom. So this is a big base. So right away, I'm like, with a big base, I might need a big dude. Let's see how my shield supply is looking, because I got a feeling it is frighteningly low. I've used a lot of shields, and a lot of my kit, my bits have not arrived yet from eBay. So yeah, I'm going to be short a shield. So I'm going to need to invent some shields. I've been thinking about making a shield out of mohawks, because why not? Not that one, but these ones. Like, could I do that? So another thing I mentioned earlier in the stream was, if you want to sort of try doing your army this way, brace yourself to ruin some things. because you might pull some parts out of sprues that you wind up not being able to use. You might have like misguided ideas. So here's, if you can see, probably just barely. Yeah, there you go. That is my idea for like a Mohawk shield. Is that going to be cool? It looks a little too hairy. That's an awfully hairy shield. Like the hair doesn't protect you. So another idea was to use more dragon parts to make shields. Like that one's a little too big. I'm saving that for like a supreme warrior. But we could use something like this. Again, here, brace yourself, because those of you who make things by the book probably cringing a little bit the way that I do things. So I'm just going to harvest that little piece of scaly hide. And I'm going to harvest, that's kind of a cool little capey piece. I'm looking for a comparable piece of dragon skin. Here's one. So yeah, this kit is designed for you to build this big like quadrupedal magma dragon monster thing. I don't know. I just thought the design of it was kind of cheesy. So hey, yo, we got a shooter. So right away I was kind of like, I'm probably not going to follow the rules on that one. So I'm just breaking things off and starting to make these custom pieces here. So for you guys out there who do things right, some of the hair bits, you need to make a mullet for the general. Yes, of course, of course. All right, so we're going to try to make 2 dragon shields on this guy. And you can see where I'm setting them up. And then we're going to try to sort of exploit the fact that his base is nice and big and use that to our advantage. There we go. It's got a very good bond on that base. I can feel it in my bones. All right, so we're going to go here. I hope you guys are doing good, by the way. The world is takes a lot of patience to get through 2020, that's for sure, but we can make it as long as we stick together and take care of one another. Always got to look out for each other, you know what I mean? So we've got this is going to be our 5th dragon shield warrior, or shield warrior. So I think I'm going to, let's see. Oh yeah, that's going to work. I'm going to leave the arm in the up position because you're going to see. I just had to size it up a little bit. I know it's a little small for you guys to see. Try to get a little better setup in the future. So when sticking to base, just trying to stay near the center of the disc below, just for stability's sake. There we go, feeling good. It is remarkable how well super glue works with this sort of soft plastic. It's kind of amazing. All right, throwing the head on. Hey, we got a jumper. Whoa, 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 easy. I have such ham hands. Oh! It's all right, nothing to panic about. We're just doing hobbies. There we go. All right, so do not touch for a second. Stop your urge to just continue building. Hey guys, I'm still here, and I'm still enjoying the King's Pyment, brought to you by Hidden Legend Mead. Yeah, Patrick Fisher, what's up? Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is just another Sigmar armor building stream on YouTube. Lord knows there's plenty of them. Yeah, 13 strings. Hey, somebody give this guy some love. This is the guy who is doing the awesome bots that live in the Runehammer Discord channel. That's 13 strings. He is the man, the myth, the beast. Oh, you guys can't even see that. There's no point setting that up. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Just stop it. All right. Okay, Bond looks good there. I can pick him up. Everything's feeling stable. So I got a couple of hands here. These mohawks are not needed. And here's the little pieces of lizard that I've prepared. These are what we call lizard pieces. And let's see if we can get in and give you guys a little different view. Keep you from falling asleep. I mean, nothing can do that, right? That's asking too much. How's all this set up? Here we go. Okay. Look at that. Would you just look at the splendor of it? Okay. All right. Now you're down in the dirt, the dinky donkos. Look at this. Now you're down in there. Let me pin this down. There we go. This is highly precarious camera setup. I need some putty or something to make this work. Any second, this camera is going to pitch forward. Let me use my pliers here as a small counterweight. There we go. Much better. All right. Here we go. Let's see if we can get some focus on that. Focus. There we go. For some reason, your finger makes it focus. Damn it. I don't. All right. That's a little easier to keep in focus, maybe. I don't know. A lot of people on YouTube, they sort of use YouTube as a way to demonstrate their prowess and skill. Well, I'm not I'm not one of those. I am much more just like, hey, there's a little lump I'm building. You'll get a close-up later. You know, I'm also the guy that's sitting here drinking mead, so I can't complain about nothing, yo. All right, so first of all, we need to size up to see if these dragon shields are going to be crazy. These are not dragon shields. These are just pieces of lizard. So you always want that V shape at the top of a shield. Oh, that's too cool. All right, so it's definitely groovy. It's definitely groovalicious. It's just a little bit too long, so I need to cut off like one scaling segment down here. Woo! There goes my finger. All right, up. Cut away from yourself. Cut away from yourself. This is going to be a tough cut here. This isn't making a lot of sense. Come on, baby. There we go. There we go. Got it. Once you get that plastic warmed up too, I swear it gets soft as butter. Just as soft as a little bit of Land O'Lakes Boutros Golly. All right, cool. So this is the second shield here. And to give you an idea, it's kind of like that. Can you see that? It's just a little too much. It's just a little too big and crazy. So I think it's just still too long. I think I need to shave it down. Let's keep cutting. Come on over to my house. Let's cut. Look at that. Oh, it's like butter. And yes, you're going to be vacuuming after doing this. But I'd rather worry about that later. I like to focus on making my idea happen and not cutting my finger off. And then worry about cleaning up. Oh, yeah, look at that butter. Did you see that? That is luscious. Okay, so not only have I shortened the shield so that it doesn't look too big for him, but I've also gotten a better shield shape. See that? So that just started as a piece of lizard hide. No, I don't like them Dremel things. Those things drive me crazy. I don't like the sound they make. Plus, if you could see the rest of this room, you would know there are cords and wires freaking everywhere. I don't, I can't. I just can't. Father? Here we go. So now I've got a little bit of a crunk I don't like. And, you know, sometimes like the oil sort of in your fingers can also sort of magically clean up this plastic. So sometimes just try to use my fingernails and my fingers as much as possible. And you can get a really clean little edge that really looks like it was made that way. And there's my shield. Oh, that's looking cool, man. Yes. We're dwarves. So I'm still touching the base with the very pointy tip of the shield. So I just have to keep working this length problem. Like my shape is boss as hell. It's just like this point is being just a little too long. Like it can touch my base, but I don't want it to interfere with the ideal pose of the shield. Here we go. Sick. So I just need it now to sort of stand out from the arm. And I'm praying that my little teeny hand is going to do that job. So again, this is a reversed hand. I've established it quite clearly that I don't care. Teeny little drip of glue there. Let's try to use gravity to help us mount this. So that means turning my guy upside down and boom, hand on. See that? Of course you don't. It's off camera. You know, some people are brilliant with television. I am not one of those people. Jorge Flores. Hola, buenas. Jorge Flores. That's a good, solid name. Hola, buenas, Jorge. All right, I'm going to let that hand dry because I'm always hustling through this stuff. So let's make sure our other shield is going to work. I have a construction peg here to cut off. Oh, that one. We got a shooter. For those of you who are wondering what the hell I'm doing and you've just tuned in on YouTube, I feel bad for you because you lived an impoverished life not knowing the joy of RPGs. So he's going to be holding that like that. That's going to be baller as hell. Okay, same thing. Get the hand on. My name is Hand On Martin. They call me Hand On. Old Hand On, they called him. Now this fist is going to be a little bit more visible, so hopefully the fact that it's the correct hand will buy me some points with the wargaming community. But you know what? I don't like the angle. I don't like it. It's not going to work. I have to sand this sucker. So you just, you know, when this stuff happens, you just got to accept it. You got to be true to yourself. And you know, the mitering cut technique worked better. So I'm going to try that again. You just take this little stub and just yachi-chani right there. Yeah. Now that bevel is going to be my glue surface so that I get the cooler angle. And it's like, it can be a little bit of a challenge at first to get your head in the space where you're kind of getting these angles. Like what cut's going to equal what angle, but you'll get it. There it is. Sick. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is the difference of doing your arm like that and like that. Like this is so much more badass than this. Like words to live by for both illustrated art and sculpting. Hankerin's Prime Tips. Drinking the King's Pie, man. Hey, everybody. What did you do in life before doing Runehammer and all this stuff, says Philip Dudley. Well, this stuff. I did this before I did this. I've been doing RPG hobby things, just not Sigmar, since I was, about 13. So just 30 and some years of that. But I was also a concept artist for video games. And I've been a writer on and off. I built motorcycles for a while. Yeah. I was a lawn and sprinkler specialist at one point. I'm thinking about switching my shield sides right now. If you guys are wondering what in tarnation I'm doing, because I think they fit better. And actually, I know they fit better. I can feel it in my gut. That is so dope. All right. So I'm going to use a little bit of extra glue here because I'm like, my certainty level is very low. Yeah, there was a time that I was a lawn and sprinkler specialist. If you can believe that. Certainty level is low here. Like, am I getting a good bond? I don't know. Feels like the answer to that is a resounding negatory, but I've got it. Look at that. Yes. Yes. Look at that shield. It's like Mordor style. Look how sick that is. Fucking dope, man. It's so fun because, like, sculpting virtually, like in ZBrush and other stuff like that, is just so, I don't know, tedious. But doing it with real materials and seeing it sort of form just by bumbling, and just by, you know, playing with material is so fun and satisfying. One thing you can do with plastic cement of all kinds is just put it into a hole, and hopefully, if things work good, it'll go in there and melt the plastic together, so it'll permeate down into the hole, find small contacts, and create molten contacts. If you've ever done welding, which I've done some of in my life, you know that when a thing is welded properly, it takes very little weld to be very strong, and it's the same with a good plastic bond. Okay, so here we go with our second shield, which goes here. This guy is so fucking badass. I can't wait. You know, and part of the process here is going to be naming all these dudes and like having my own sense of lore. So when I got, you know, started understanding what it would be to make an army, whoa, I just thought of it as like making a character. You know, I need some backstory. I need, you know, I need my stats. I need my cool name. You know, what my purpose is. Not just let me look in the book and do what they say. This guy is shielded to the teeth. I don't know if you guys can see that, but waiting for the bond to stick. So using gravity as my friend, right? It's so cool. It's like he salvaged chunks of a dragon as his shields. Here, this is worth coming on in. Come on in. Focus. Look how killer that is. Isn't that sick? I love it. Okay. So there completes my squadron of 5 shield dwarves right over there. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the runesmith. And this one we're not going to take it as it's given. We're going to customize this little dude so that he is as cool as my supremes. And he is not, well, he might be my general. I'm not sure. There's another guy who's supposed to be my general, but let's see how this guy goes, and we'll decide their ranks when we get a good look at them. Like, I know that for a general or for a very special, like a buff type character, I wanted to do a thicker base so that they stand a little taller, especially because you're dealing with dwarves with like hecka stumpy legs. So there's my runesmith body. Let's see if we can find, oh, here's his feet. We'll clean off all the barbs there in a second. Okay. Here's his beard. He's got like a sort of a totemic beard. which I'm a little neutral on if that's cool or not, but we will see. Like, to me, a beard is sacred for a dwarf. You don't decorate it with a bunch of hooey. And then I believe he's got a cape, which also kind of puts him in a category all his own. He's got a super dope cape. And if any of you guys are wondering, if you're not into all this stuff yet, like I wasn't, the quality on these miniatures is absolutely spectacular. It is amazing. And it's keep on drinking this bottle. I'm here for this. I'm here for the long haul. All right. So let's just test fit this beard here. It goes right there. Yeah. Looks like it's got, is that teeny little mustache pieces? It certainly is. All right. Yeah. Once you get his beard on him, this guy's a lot cooler. So this beard has a complex contact patch. Maybe a little bit complex. So we'll just get a little glue in there. And whoop, right on your face. Okay, so when you get the beard on him, he suddenly looks like the king. That's pretty cool. So I know you can't see all those details. Yo, Ty, I'm in great city of Philly, PA. And hey, yeah, you know, like I'm glad y'all are hanging out. This is also just a place for y'all to kick it and chat. Not necessarily just be like, wow, look, a blurry little gray blob that Hankering's doing. No, 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 it's not just about that. So this weapon that this guy has is diminutive, to say the least. It is not big enough for my taste. Like, he does not feel supreme with that thing. I love the head design on the axe, but that axe is wimpy as F. So we're going to have to take action, and we're going to have to bring in some dragon elements as well. So we've got a cape to work with. There's how the cape goes on. That's pretty stable. I can feel like I can go ahead and do that. But you know what? I'm going to save it because I think I'm going to be cutting. If you can believe it, I'm going to have to build up the nerve to cut off this amazingly cool axe, because I just don't think he is legendary enough. I also have this thing laying around, which is like a cool little piece of architecture. You know, like, is this part of him in some way? Oh, he's standing in this cool, you know, I'm part of the super squad. I don't know. Or is, like, could he be holding this gigantic thing like a huge ass torch? Like, if that's possible, then I'd want to make it like a handle, or just put the torch on top. I think put the torch on top. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So I don't know if you saw that process. I don't know if that's useful to you guys, but for me, that was a major epiphany. To think I can just look at things visually and hold them up next to each other and find a way to glue them together. You can't do that on a Gundam with very much ease. It takes a lot of skill. This is just so forgiving. Okay, so I'm just flattening off the top of this axe blade that he has. And I'm going to try to mount the upper portion of this thing on here. Now, again, people who build these things by the book are just going to freaking scream when I do this, but here we go. We're just going to cut this sucker. Oh, so satisfying. So satisfying. It's just like, what have you done to your fire slayers, you idiot? I've made them my own, brother. I've made them my own. Okay, so it looks like I could use the hollow design of this in my favor to fit onto the axe blade. So we're going to try to do that. Check this out. And it may or may not work. No promises here. You know, one of the reasons too that I do my videos this way is that I imagine that this is very realistic for what a lot of hobby people, who are some of my favorite people, are out there doing. They're out there neck deep in creating some kind of custom bonkers stuff, and they're believing in the idea and the spirit of the hobby, which I think at this point, you guys know me, I really do believe in the spirit of what it is we do. Which is to have fun going all in, to have fun investing in an imagined space, and like to really invest, to be like, man, these dwarves, they owe a debt and it has not been paid. And until it's been paid, they have a debt of service to other armies. And so they act as defenders, not as attackers, to honor their allies and the friends of their allies. And like, I like that. It gives me a battle cry besides just like, kill all the demons. Now, is that even a factor in your average Age of Sigmar game? Probably not. Do I care? No. I do it my way. Have fun my way. Hey, thanks for the beer money, guys. Appreciate that. Look at there. How much does one of these kits cost? How deep in the hole are you with Frankenstein? Matt Perkins, everything you're seeing me hack on right now is just part of the Start Collecting box, which I think was $65. So definitely not cheap, but not a world ender either. Okay, there's kind of the look I'm going for. But I'm just not there yet. It's not quite making sense. So this is definitely one of the hardest things I've done to get it to look right, for like the weight of it to feel right, and like the fit. You know, you want to just shave off little tiny bits of plastic to try to get it to fit. And if anything, a little bit of looseness in the fit is okay, because it'll keep things from like spreading in an awkward way or whatevers. Yeah, see, there you go. Almost, except you've got spreading now. So I don't want that spreading. Part of that problem is here. So again, oh, hey, Ted, ThinkDeck. Great, man. Thanks, brother. Yeah, the print on ThinkDeck came out so great. Really happy about it. Thanks for the purchase. When I do card decks, I set the margins insanely low. So I think like right now I make like a couple bucks on my card decks. They don't sell really huge. I just really enjoy making card decks. I think it's just so fun. ThinkDeck was just such a crazy whirlwind of an epiphany kind of experience. So I'm just flattening out the sort of sides of this axe so that it'll go into this sort of giant torch thing. This is the torch of runesmithing, the torch of the callers. Still spreading it. And I just don't want that spread effect, and it's just flat in there. So I'm going to step up my aggression with the Zacto and start carving off the sides of this axe. So sorry if I'm kind of coming in and out of frame here, but to be brutally honest, I'm focused on the craft. There we go. Looking good. I love how soft this plastic is. It's a lot like Gundam plastic, a very soft, workable plastic. No spreading. Good contact. There we go. So now the challenge is to hook this on and get a good bond and keep it really, really straight. So I feel that it needs to go down just a noogle, just a little spurgle, one little spurgle more than it is to feel right. Just one little sprecken. There we go. There we go. So that one little sprecken will give me just a little more bond. And, you know, bond will help your sort of structural integrity for what it's worth. And it's worth a lot, believe me. That's what we're going to be getting. So is that cool? So let's size him up. Oh, it's yeah, that's badass. It's a freaking castle axe. Okay, we're gluing it up. We're gluing it up. Plenty of glue on something custom like this. Like, we want everything to bond that can possibly bond. Okay, and then I'm going to go stand him up so I can make sure that this is vertical. Right there. I want it to be straight with the grip. Right there. Sweet. So you can probably see him there. And with this huge thing in his hand, you can see him. So we've escalated him to the realm of the extremely overdone. And then there's a piece that goes with him. Let's see if we can find it. It's a cool little like runic power staff. It's right here. So that's another thing is like that's fun if you're kit bashing is, or just, I'm not technically not kit bashing since this is all one kit, but know your sprues. Like, do a good solid peruse on your sprues so that you like know that you have the one thing and you have the horned helmet and you have the stumpy legs and you have the extra fists. Know thy sprue, for thy sprue is thy friend. Now, you know, for the super high end, like, I know that there are a lot of like Warhammer modelers that are just insanely good. They are not going to like this video. They're going to feel like they can see my seams, and I should be using milliput, penetrating plastic cement, and all kinds of other amazingly effective techniques that I'm too ignorant to know about. But part of the point of the stream was just that there's just fun. It's just fun anyway. Fuck it. You know, just like, I paid my money for the kit so I could have fun with it, not so I could feel like a doo-doo head. There we go. Getting a bond now on the feet. Oh. To call this guy top heavy would be the understatement of 2020. Okay, so now we want to get him ready to base after this bond sticks. Okay, so since he's so top heavy, I'm going to let that bond stick while he's in my hand. That's a little different. And then I think we want, oh, you know, I also wanted him to be casting this like spike spell up around himself. Ooh, I almost forgot. That's cool. That's cool. So let's do that next. We're going to do like a spell effect. And it's going to be dope. Okay, so he's bonding. We're all bonding right now. And we're also sharing a drink together. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Stormblood, good luck with that brutal draw. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Ingrid Bernal. I'm also known as Hankrin Fernale. I am here to build my Age of Sigmar custom army, which is custom in all aspects. I'm trying to shoot the moon on what it means to even make a custom thing. I'm trying to really go to the absolute limit. So now for this spell effect, I wanted it to look like my runesmith, who's really is my grandmaster. I wanted to look like he's like bringing out the sort of draconic or magmic energy from his base. And so I'm going to start with this as my center. And I'm going to use a square. Hang on. Here we go. So I've got these sprues of terrain. So we break off so there we have a square here. And that's our center. Oh, hey, Andrew. Thanks, dude. Make a shield from 2 axe blades. I love that idea. And this guy is going to need a shield because he's supreme. So now what I want to do is start to rend my plastic into this cool curve. And then we're going to actually put like dragon horns and stuff like bursting through the stone. At least that's the concept. Will we achieve it? I guess we'll find out. So that's just going to be too huge. So I need to start cutting. There we go. Cutting off corners now. They say you shouldn't cut corners, but I'm literally freaking cutting corners. Thanks for tuning in, by the way, everybody. It's really nice to have you guys. And I know that a lot of you who tune into these streams are also my readership on my various PDFs and other supplements. The number of people currently playing and expanding and creating content for Index Card RPG is becoming quite amazing. It actually has become a bit of a phenomenon. I don't think that game is going anywhere anytime soon. I think you're going to see ICRPG is going to be around a while. And so I'm just doing my best to continue to be visible to everybody and just continue fucking pushing my hobby aspect to the limit. Okay, still too big. I can't have a giant base. There we go. Giant base. There we go. Get some substantive chunks. This will absolutely ruin your hands. Dang, stuff seems to get tougher as I'm going toward the middle. There we go. That's a chunk. So you see, instead of like exploiting any corners on this one, I'm tearing my way all the way down to the center. You know, it's probably a bit of a long way to get to an effect, but it's okay. It's hobby. There we go. That's kind of what I want. Is like these little torn pieces like that. Like the very earth can be rended by the magic of this dwarven mage general. Shield general. Shield wizard. Okay, there. So that's definitely bigger than the other bases. And he's bigger than the other dudes. Still a little too big. It's upstaging him. So I'm going to keep this. This ring is freaking killing me. Scarborough. That is so far away. I don't have a car, yo. All I got's a Harley and a bicycle. And I crashed my bike on Saturday night. I got the bruises to show it. It was whoa, we got a shooter. Yeah, that was an interesting evening. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's all about the ripping. The ripping motion produces the right base texture. Okay, cool. Just a sec. Sorry I'm off camera here and there, but you know how it is. All right, cool. There we go. I also have a little bit of a high spot in the middle here. Hopefully, well, his feet are going to hit it because he has that little extra feet piece. So Another great thing about an emery board is that it's flexible, so you can kind of bend it into your sanding. Hey, everybody, what y'all drinking? What bike are you riding? I have a State Rigby. You know what? I believe you on Best Tacos, man. The food in Philly is freaking amazing. This is a food town through and through. It's food heaven here. I tell you what, food heaven. Lord knows I got my COVID-15. All right, so there's the thing. So that, though, is just the beginning of the concept. Now we need, like, I want to do these like magmic or draconic spikes. So as you can see, I have like one and a half nice big sprues of draconic spiky things. And I want to exploit them. You know, like there's also this cool thing. Like that would put him like in a chariot of draconic power. It's a little weird though, a little too protecty. Like I don't really want him to be protecty. I want him to be powerful power, double power. So where do I get these? So if you're wondering what I'm staring at, this is it. Maybe it's just off screen. Sorry about that. Let's try this one. Gonna being a little clumsy with this. Okay. So this would be like an arm on some kind of dragony thing. So you see what I'm imagining? It's like he's conjuring up this force. So it's like that would cut right along there. I don't want to shoot her here. That would be bad. There we go. So it's like this kind of stuff. Nice. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I know it's cool in my heart because I can see it with my eyes. Don't cut toward yourself, kids. It's not a good idea. Just because an adult does a thing doesn't mean it's a good thing. Remember all that stuff? I'll stop this car right now. You're like, please stop the car, Dad. You have passed like 25 perfectly good campsites. All right. I'm a dude who likes to carve. I like to carve little bits up to make my mini. I'm a dude who likes to carve. I'm carving up minis. Oh, yeah. Okay, I just need another one of those. I need like a secondary spike effect. But first, let's start constructing. Let's do this little piece first. Shabba-doo, shabba-dee. Here comes shield dwarf number 3. Boosh. There we go. It's perfect time to take a little drink of the old King's Piment. I tell you what. Sort of on topic, if you made an axe from dragon parts, what would you use? Well, you need to find the sharpest, thinnest thing you can. And you need a good haft. So if you have like a spare spear, you take a spear, you know, like even a little thingy like this, take a spear and then find a piece of dragon. Remember, axes are pretty small. So what I would use is an actual axe, like take one of these guys, right? Take one of your axes and then put your dragon part like on the back. Like the Draconic Avenger in Warcraft, you know, it still has a somewhat normal blade, but then the decorative portions are more draconic. So you could pick from any of these spiky bits to create that dragon axe feeling. And as soon as you get that done, post me a pic because I'm going to want to see that. Send me a pic on Twitter, will you? Putting a tiny bead of glue along the bottom of this, and then poop, we're going to stick it right on there like that. We're also going to try to create like a ring effect around him. So I've been saving this little spike for a while, and it's time to redeem the coupon. Excuse me, I'd like to redeem my dragon spell effect coupon. Sorry, those coupons have all expired 4,000 years ago. Oh, I'd like to carve. I like to cut. I like to carve. I like to sand my plastic butt. Make a spike come out of the stone. When the wizard casts his spell, he's all alone. Because other dwarves don't like wizards. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. I don't know why all the dwarves give me such a hard freaking time, because I'm a wizard. Yay. It doesn't quite match. That's not going to work. So really, I need another little triad of spikes like that. I need a triad of spikes. He's changing into some kind of creature. Okay, I'm going to put a curly one on here. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's turning into some kind of creature. A minute ago, he looked fine. Now he looks like a creature. So what's wrong with your friend there? He's a creature. All right, the beards offer me no hope, but this thing's dope. Look at that. That cool little coily ass dragon doodad. You know what you are? You're a coily ass dragon doodad. And you're gonna pay. Boom, 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 da, 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 all right. I don't know why I can't shut up. But I can't. Now it's like teeth are erupting around him. This is going to be sick as F. Hi, guys. Got to head out later, Lord of Darkness. Peace to the mother bird. Viking culture is more inclusive. What? Viking culture is always inclusive. I don't really look for a cultural aspect. One of the things I love about bicycling is I just kind of do it on my own. Same with motorcycling. You know, it's like I always thought it was weird how there's like motorcycle clubs. I'm like, what? Why? Like, why the hell would you take one of the most wonderful elements of solitude and make a club out of it? I'm sanding tentacles. I'm sanding things. It's a dragon toothy thing that coils. All right. I'm sanding tentacles. Curly dragon things. Tentacles come out when dwarves cast magic. That's the end of this thing. Oh, I'm sanding tentacles and attaching them to my thing. Glue them right on to the base and make it sing. I'm casting tentacles. I need one more little horn bit. Martin Hornbit stars. So this one's going to work, but I have to sand the living F out of it. So I'm going to start with a nice cut. Yeah. Oh, it's so solid. There we go. Oh, I just powered through it as a human being. And the dividends are mine to enjoy. Sick. There we go. So now I see you got this little, oh, you guys can see it. It's like a little Hellboy thing. I ride my motorcycle alone. I ride my skateboard alone. I do my crafting alone. I read Bakari Sellers alone. I read about sailboats alone. I ride my motorcycle alone. I ride my skateboard alone. I ride my motorcycle alone. I ride my skateboard alone. I read Bakari Sellers alone. I do my crafting on my own. All right, let's hook up this cape. And you know, this mini is going to be a bitch to paint, I'll tell you, because I'm not like painting like subgrouping as I know some advanced builders do. But quick reminder, I'm not advanced. I was beginner. I was noob. I ride my desk chair alone. I ride my sofa alone. I put the monkey in my pants and I do a little dance and I do the whole thing alone. I need to find the mohawk for this. I think he has a special mohawk. Oh, God. If you're starting to feel a little funny, you should probably just have another sip of this. I ride my mohawk alone. I got a special mohawk. It's also a skateboard. And I ride it a lot. But I ride that fucking mohawk alone. I build my Sigmar army alone. I use my Zacto alone. I put the mohawk in if it's nice. Sort of. I ride my mohawk alone. I think he was supposed to have like a big silly double dragon finkle dinkle mohawk, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not about that. That ain't my shit. I got one more body over here, so I can make another berserker. I ride my mohawk alone. Okay, the cape has made him just barely fit in here. Or can he fit at all? I haven't put on his other arm yet either. Yeah, he'll fit. He's going to fit just like that. I am the master. I'm going to hold right here very carefully, and I'm going to make a change. I'm looking to the dwarf in the mirror. Oh, yeah. Other YouTube channels, you're going to get a lot of expertise. You're going to get a lot of completed projects. Here, you're going to get annoying sounds. I ride my mohawk. I ride my mohawk alone. There we go. Now he fits perfectly into his crazy little base. I ride my mohawk alone. Okay, so he's got so much going on here. He does not need an additional monkey. So I think they gave him like a little hand where he's holding like a key. I got the key to the Dwarven Kingdom. All right. So if I did a bunch of hard work to edit these videos, I would comically cut in the funny sounds and then edit them out when they become annoying, which would be really, really soon. Okay, here's a hand with a little torchy thing, and here's a hand with a key. I think the key is kind of a fun idea. It's sort of Warhammer cheese, but let's just go with it, guys and ladies. Hello. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Name's Ingrid Bernal. Ingrid Fernell here. And I ride my Mohawk alone. That's right. Yes. Because I am a boss. He's like sort of dangling this key. He's got like there's a dangle to this. There's a bit of a dangle. Bit of a dangle on this one. And for some weird reason, they have like this little thingy in here that's a nuisance. Why is this thingy in here? Overall, if you guys are looking for the opinion segment, I think that Gundam models have a far higher degree of precision in how they make sprues. Oh, come on. That's just a bunch of wasted super glue because those imbeciles at Johnson & Johnson tells you to roll up your toothpaste tube from the bottom for best results. Holding, holding, holding. Still holding. I ride my Mohawk alone. I ride my motorcycle alone. I ride my skateboard alone. I ride my office chair alone. I do my crafting alone. But I've got to admit, it's a little bit lonely being alone. You've got to do something with that foot. I don't see any foot. What foot? Oh, the dragon foot? You mean this? Dude, that's crazy, man. Y'all crazy. Y'all nuts. All right. I'm going in. This is the final glue for my Super Chief, except maybe this thing, which is overkill, so I'm not going to do that. So this is it, the final glue for this guy. So there, you guys just saw me go through all the struggles and muggles, silliness, complete chaos. Man, that fit got so tight, he actually snapped into his base. That was insane. And that's my Torch Keeper, Runesmith. Look at that shit. That's some good shit. Tell you what, that is some good shit right there. You pardon my language. Because that is freaking dope. Look at that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, I carry the torch of 1,000 years of dwarven vengeance. Dude, that's not compensating. He is getting work done with this thing. I ride my Mohawk alone. All right, we're going to give you a little breather, and you can look at my ugly mug for a second. If I can. See, it's been a real person this whole time. Me. You thought this was all some kind of automated AI trick. Okay, so we've got one more berserker to create. That's like easy money compared to what we just did. And this will be the last dwarf, or will it be? Yeah, this is the last dwarf that I have in the starter box. So I need to make one more Berserker, and then I've got my starter box done. And then my next phase is another set of dwarves that are made to be tower shielders. And we're going to pick up with that on the next stream. Like, you think these shields are big? This is nothing, dude. And dudette. This is nothing. Give me a dwarf with some crazy braids. Look at this guy. Whoa, he's got a weird... Is he the one that uses the... No, he's bald. That's just straight up a bald dwarf. I'm using that. I can relate to that. I'm bald. Hi. Hi, Dad. I'm bald. Dad. Dad. Can you tell Mom I'm bald? The mother no longer remembers the taste of food, son. She's abandoned us. And all we have is turkey bacon to survive for the next 7 years. I eat my turkey bacon alone. You know what pisses me off? The coolest shield or axe they gave me, they only gave me one. But I got to use it because it has a cool, like, flat blade, like a bearded axe, you might say. And I think this one will do for the other one. Oh, wait. That's right hand. This is left hand, yeah. I glue on axes alone. I make doors alone. And when I feel it looks cool, I feel it down in my bone because I make dwarves alone. So this has been my little sample piece, and I'm going to finally tear it apart and use it. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're slowly losing viewers. I can't imagine why. With a stream of this quality, why would anyone stop tuning in? I just can't even imagine. How could you possibly leave entertainment this riveting? The mind reels to consider the reasons. It reels, I say. All right. Here's our base. That's a ragged base too, man. That's hardcore, bro. It's hardcore, and it's hardcore alone. Let me clean up this little bit of super glue with a piece of plastic. All right. Okay. Let's put the little belly thing in first. And after I finish this Berserker, we are done for tonight. Okay, there's this little armor thingy, my bubber. And there's almost no custom stuff here. It's just cleaning off the barbs like normal. This is just making a guy almost as he's shown on the box. Which, it doesn't excite me as much as the other stuff, but you can't go so hog wild that you don't give your fellow players a bit of a nod to what the Fire Slayers are expected to be, right? Because the Fire Slayers are going to be part of their lore and their expectation of Sigmar. And I want to live up to that damn expectation because I'm a boss. All right, here we go. A little bloober on there. Get my bald guy. I'm a Berserker, so I don't need a helmet. Admiral Snack Bar in every single rune stream I've ever been in. Jorge Flores. Are you not rune-entertained? I'm rune-entertained. I'm like 2/3 of the way through this thing. I'll tell you what. I got through it alone. I drink my meat alone. I don't know if that's good or bad. I drink my meat alone. I do my crafting alone. I do it on my own. I ride my skateboard alone. There we go. Good definition there. Good definition. I'm feeling it, you guys. That's another thing, another reason I wanted to do this. I feel like that should be on his back. Anyway, I want to do this stream with the Sigmar stuff and whatnot. It's like I'm like legit into this shit. Like sometimes, publishing and running games and talking on Discord, and maybe it's just 2020, the biggest asshole of all years ever. Maybe it's just, bringing some of these issues into stark relief. That's cool, but that's a good angle on that grip. It's sometimes you feel like there's a disconnect between just the love of doing the hobby and like all the digital side of it, be it playing online, interacting on Zoom or interacting on Discord or be it, doing Photoshop work or publishing work, right? Like the sort of the dopamine or like the social reward factor of just hanging and rolling bones. I miss it terribly. I may ride my skateboard alone, but like I miss doing the hobby with peeps. Now this guy's like coming into the battle hot. He is flying into combat, and he is just as bald as the day the dwarven gods made him. Look at that guy. He's cool. Nice. Okay, that kind of gives my berserkers a little bit of extra flavor there. I like that guy. I should have used bald heads on all my berserkers. I don't know if I have that many bald heads. There's very few bald heads. There's like 2 bald heads in the whole kit. So, yeah. That's kind of silly. I would expect to have way more bald heads. Goofballs. Goofbalds. That guy's pretty kick-ass. He's got some good arm position. So you couple him with the berserkers and he's going to look good. All right, guys. That is it for me. So I am done for tonight. I'm going to close up my super glue. I'm going to drink some more of my Hidden Legend. So yeah, I help me get my question to Hank. Jorge, what is it? Unrelated question. Where did you get the shark and narwhal stickers on your turntables? Oh man, yes, I bet your girlfriend does love those because the ladies love those dang stickers so much. I got them at the Rose City Comic-Con in Portland, Oregon, from an artist who I do not know the name. So go to Comic-Con the next time that we even have cons and look for narwhal stickers. She had very few too. She didn't even have a booth. She had like just a little thingy, and yeah, got the stickers. So it's so bright in here. It's painful. Here, maybe if we, no, that's a little more human. See, that's what I don't look like. I don't know what that was. That was a night haunt. Hey guys, Ingrid Bernal here. I'm always looking to the left. It's really suspicious looking, but I'm just checking the stream. So here we have the models here, and maybe we could grab, well, gray UDT isn't going to work. Maybe like a white would be nice. I want you guys to get a view of what we're working with here. Crying out loud. All this stinking work, sitting around for hours like a nutcase. Hey, like a little hobby nutcase. Okay, here we go. I drink my meat alone. Oh, hi. Okay. I drink my meat alone. I do my crafting alone. Okay, so that's the guy that I just finished at the end of the stream is right there. I'm going to create a backdrop because I need one. Otherwise, you'll never get focus. Actually, I think I just have to look down, which is sad because I wanted to look at like ground level. God dang. You know, and I know there's like manual focus things I can do, but okay. So if I point at him, you get the focus because my finger. Check it out. He's pretty sweet. Of my berserkers, I think he's my favorite. But I think most interesting for the sort of the point of the stream was this kind of super custom general that I did. This guy. So remember, the white on the plastic is from it being ripped. So that'll all go away. And I can do black and magma colors, and I can do it alone. But this guy is killer. By the ancient vows of all my ancestors, I strike you down. And that's just it, though. My army isn't about striking down. It's about protection. It's about the defenders of other armies. And holy shit. Oh, another piece of white paper. Good idea. Okay, then we'll bring back the bright light. Production value, guys. Look at this shit. So there's my general. How cool is that? That's insane. Thanks, Hank. Yeah, dude. What's up, Stormblood? Good to have you, man. So that's that one. Here, now that we have this cool setup too, check out my dragon shield. There it is. Now you can see it. See, there's that dragon head shield. Pretty dope, huh? So these are all custom made. So you can see right there is where I spliced in the far larger weapon. And then right under there, I added the bottom piece so that it would reach the ground. And there you can see the dragon head shield. Pretty cool, huh? I'm really, really happy with how these are all coming together. Here's my dragon cloak. So he's got the sort of Supremo axe, but then he has a cloak made of dragon scales. This insane close-up view. There's the twin shields. Pretty neat, huh? So once that I get to do all the sort of the dry brushing and do the magma colors and the black stone colors, I think this stuff's really going to pop like crazy. And I'll be able to document all that kind of stuff. But I think the reason maybe, you know, that these videos aren't the, you know, pure adrenaline is I'm just trying to show my real process, not like an edited down version or, you know, with sort of gags and jokes, but, you know, what it's really like to sit and craft. So here's my squad leader on my twin shield squadron. Super, super killer. Really happy with these dudes. And more so just happy with how different they are than what's on the box. That makes me very happy. And just because I'm such a DIY weirdo. Yeah, see, he's got like blades on his shields, and the way that the shields are set up, they actually are trying to get you to attach them to the fists with the blades going back, but I like them like presenting the blades like weapons. Come on, focus. Focus. Doesn't like that. Too close. It's too powerful. The dwarves are too powerful to focus. So for a final, now that we have this neat little stage, which actually this is kind of a fun idea for a video. Yeah, man, shield as weapon is like a lifestyle I've been living in D&D for years, and I wanted to bring it into Warhammer. So like, here's the 3 Supremes together. Like, you can start to feel it, right? Like, yeah, focus, you stink nut. And then you get like the berserkers behind them. And I'm obsessed with this army. It's so cool. Focus on that if you dare, oh camera. Can you do it? There's my finger. Yeah. Anyway, there you go, guys. That is the beginning of my Shields of Grimnir, Age of Sigmar, custom-built Dwarven Shield Army. And thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know what has happened. My whole camera setup has fallen apart here. Maybe I can just kind of stick it right there. Hello. Thanks you guys for tuning in. This is old Hanker Furnail here at Runehammer. So long story short, definitely getting into an Age of Sigmar game with 2 good friends. Super excited about it because they're excited about it. And also we've already sort of, you know, especially me and Kirby, if you're out there watching, have sort of made contact, as they say. And I do advise this, if that's a thing that's meaningful, is like COVID has been freaking brutal and it's been really tough. And I do think it's important to find a very, very short list of people that mean a lot to you and make sure you know who your contacts have been throughout quarantine. Be careful, stay safe, take care of each other, but go ahead and make contact with a couple people. I don't know if it's okay because I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but for me, it's important for sanity. And so we've gone ahead and said, yo, and when we meet now, we get to freaking shake hands and hug, which I know that may sound silly, but in 2020, that is freaking huge. So what happens right after a handshake and a hug? Talking shit about wargaming and playing Age of Sigmar. That's what we're doing, building our armies. Everything else is still going. It's a big hobby. There's room for everybody. It's not, do you play D&D or do you play war games? We're all in this together, man. Let's stick together. No division, no separating each other, no what's that, gatekeeping, none of this garbage. It's just homies and homettes, stone cold doing the hobby. And that's all it is. So, you know, just like keep it real. Don't steal. Love one another. All right. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to try to finish this and clean up this mess. I've got shooters all over the place. Little bits are off in the stairwell. And if you guys haven't heard about the Think Deck, it's really been a huge hit. It's pretty crazy. Go check it out on Drive-Thru-RPG. It's basically a deck of cards to help you design your tabletop content, whether it's war game, D&D, whatever. But I'm going to try to open my horizons up a little bit, see a little bit more of the hobby. And, you know, I just freaking love making miniatures and painting miniatures. So you're going to be seeing that on the channel coming up. If I fuck up a stream or something, it doesn't work. Sorry about that. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm not on YouTube because I'm a computer expert. I'm on YouTube because of this shit. So I'll see you guys around for next time. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. It's only Monday. We can do anything. All right. Till next time, you guys. Peace.